everyone's not afforded the position for someone to look up to. And, you know, even when I watched my husband go through his NFL career and he still wanted to live a life that he didn't really care what people thought or whatever, that's a platform, that's something special that you're afforded. So it's like, for me to be a model, it's just like knowing every step that I take, someone's watching it, especially my 2 little children. And it's just like, I have an opportunity to help mold these children into like amazing beings. So it's just like, being a model is just making sure every step that you take is calculated and that you're making the right choices and decisions because you know someone's watching.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Be the Model Podcast. I'm your host, Teddy J.
And I'm Big Neil.
And today we have a very special guest, businesswoman, entrepreneur, author, actress, and much more, the beautiful Miss Theresa Bowe.
Hey everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey, good morning, man. How was your trip today?
Amazing, blessed, highly favored.
We know you just caught a flight from another event. How was that?
Amazing. It's like, you know, you got to go, you got to network, you got to do what you got to do. No excuses. This is team no excuses over here.
No excuses. So go on and introduce yourself. Let those who don't know you, for all those watching, the viewers, let them know the real Theresa Bowe. We've had other interviews. They've talked about your businesses and all that. But let's go even before that to your childhood.
Okay.
Let them know who you are and how'd you come to be the person you are today.
Okay, perfect. I got a long story, but, you know, I'm going to make it short. I'm a young lady from Long Island, New York, born and raised there. Was a victim of child abuse at a very young age. So because of that, I became a great, you know, sports enthusiast. I pretty much ran track. I played basketball, badminton, every sport that I can possibly do to stay out of the house, because child abuse, it happens in your house. It's always somebody that you know, love, and trust. That's the unfortunate part. But with that, I was able to earn a track scholarship to Kansas City, Missouri.
Nice.
The rest was history. So I left New York, went to Kansas City. I became an entrepreneur at a younger age. I became a realtor. I did a lot of things to not fall victim to what I watched my mom go through raising all of us on survival. She was a single mom, 8 children, multiple baby fathers. Her life was hard. And when you are raised on survival and you have to raise people on survival, you do things that sometimes you do not want to do, especially women. I'm saying men do it too. I done watched men go live with baby girls and drive their cars and don't want to be there. Yep. So I watched my mom go through a lot. And because of that, she birthed me. And, you know, all of that contributed to who I am today.
Right. Mm-hmm. Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest of 8 children. So I got to see everything. When I tell you, my sisters was on crack, cocaine. My brother was selling drugs. Another one was robbing banks. Another one was sister was institutionalized. I've seen it all. I was like that young girl that watched everything: the food stamp days, the no lights, the no phone in the home. It was a lot.
So you think that lends to your success?
Definitely.
A rose from concrete right there.
Yes, definitely. And I appreciate it. You know, when I think about looking back, a lot of people are embarrassed or ashamed of where they came from, and I give credit to the things that I had to endure.
Right.
Because definitely.
You made a diamond.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going back to your childhood, you mentioned about abuse. What advice would you give someone who went through or was going through a similar situation as yours, and how would you inspire them? Or, you know, what helped you also to get through out of that situation?
Well, for me, it was God, because at that time I did not know how important education was and just what to do. I had no tools. No one ever spoke to me as a child on what to do if I faced a predator in my home or my life. So pretty much I got out of that situation based on sports. Right. And, you know, I hadn't spoke about being abused as a child. I never told any of my friends. My husband, I was with him for over 10 years before he found out. Right. And once I realized that childhood trauma stems to so much of who we are today as an adult, I quickly realized educating people was important. My mom, I was able to confront her after realizing what happened, what was wrong. Found out my siblings, they too were abused, but my mom was never educated. Right. She never had anyone to tell her that she shouldn't do things, or just the signs. So in turn, she didn't educate me.
Right.
In turn, I didn't educate my kids.
Right.
So it wasn't until 2019 that I set my kids down. One was 2, one was 8 at the time, and I let them understand the special parts of their body that no one has permission to touch, that they should speak up even if someone doesn't believe them. Just a tool. So I created an educational platform. It's called Don't Touch Me.
Okay.
Those 3 words, powerful. Don't touch me. Yes, don't touch me. When a kid understands that they can say it, even when it's an adult, that they taught to respect and listen to.
Yes.
If they're touched inappropriately, they know that they can say something.
Right. And do you tell them who to say something to, or is it just say something?
No, definitely. So the problem with me was I told my mom and she didn't believe me. So it shut me down. I was like, if my mom doesn't believe me, no one's going to believe me. But when you get educated on child abuse, you realize that if your mom doesn't believe you, there's your uncle, there's your teacher, there's there's people you can talk to. Kids have to know that there are other trusted adults to talk to. So pretty much it's just speaking up. It's just whether it's a friend, a sister, a cousin, just not keeping silent. You don't understand the burden that it plays on your whole entire life.
Tell everybody.
Living that, yes.
Tell it
Keep
all.
telling.
And speaking on Don't Touch Me, let's dive into that a little bit more. Don't Touch Me, and tell us what it's really like, what it's about. How do we find out more information about it if we want to support it?
Okay.
Or like go in more depth to it.
So Don't Touch Me, to support, we have a website. Everything you can find there is called stopdon'ttouchme.com. And I am looking for people that's advocates for child abuse, victims that now love to help other people. But it's an educational platform. I wrote a children's book. It's called My Mommy's Boyfriend. That was unfortunately
My Mommy's
Boyfriend.
Okay.
That's how I entailed my abuse, from my mom's boyfriend. And there's a lot of single moms out there that are dating. And they're bringing different men around their children. And you just have to watch out, because it doesn't only happen with men. So I want to emphasize that women abuse children too.
Right.
So it goes both ways. But it was My Mommy's Boyfriend. And we created an elementary school curriculum. So this is what the fight is about.
Okay.
No one wants to talk about child abuse, especially child sex abuse. Okay. So the curriculum, if I do get it into schools, I'm going to fight right now. I'm going from city to city.
Right.
And this will pretty much get to it at the root, because if you educate a child at a young age, they won't get abused 9 times out of 10 because they understand what to do.
Right.
I think that's a great aspect, because I think all schools need that. 'Cause like you said, it's something that is not really being talked about, but it's something that exists and it's affecting everyone.
Everyone.
You know what I mean? So we're glad to have an advocate like yourself
Yeah.
who's
We'll
bringing
applaud
these
that.
things up in all these different programs so people can reach out to.
Right.
Right. So where can people get this book?
Oh, the website. The website has everything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can
Okay,
find
on the
out
Stop
more.
Don't Touch Me website.
Stop, don't.
That's how you order the book as well.
Correct. There's a link there as well.
And you can donate too?
You could donate there. You could become a volunteer. You can get educated, just through things that's on the site to help people understand how to open up dialogues. And a lot of people, you'll be surprised, they don't even know how to talk to their child. I do several events around the country, and I always ask the guests in the audience a question of like, had anyone ever talked to you about child abuse when you was a kid? You'll be surprised that probably 10 hands go up.
Wow.
Then I ask the next question, have you talked to your children about child abuse? And less hands go up.
Right.
So a lot of us don't know how or don't know when. And a lot of people feel like the kid is too young, it's too sensitive of a subject. It's a lot of excuses.
So in your opinion, how and when do you talk to them?
I mean, once your kid can understand.
No.
Your kid can understand. How old do we teach our kid potty training? 1 year, 2 years? Kids understand that.
So you say understand when they understand their body parts?
They can communicate.
Right?
When they can communicate.
Yeah.
And they comprehend. So if you could tell your kid to go to the bathroom or to pick up something off the floor, they comprehend well.
Right,
My
right.
daughter, like I said, was 2.
Right.
She got it immediately.
Same thing. I used to always
I
tell
did
my
too.
daughter around that age, if anyone touch you,
Let me know.
Let me know.
I used to tell my son the same thing.
You have to.
Their mom did the same.
And another tool that I would just love to drop right now is a lot of us, we're going to have people watch our kids, right?
Yeah.
It's inevitable. We're all business professionals. We have to get out the house, right?
Right.
So a tool that I learned is when I leave people with my kids, I let them know that I've taught my kids about child abuse.
They don't
So
notice.
they understand. They understand if someone touches them. So once you give an adult that little gem, they're like, even if they're thinking it, they know they're going to get told on. Yes.
And you spoke about your husband. Let's go into that story a little bit. How did you meet him? And how is it like being a wife of an NFL player?
Oh my God, my husband is so amazing. If he's out there listening, babe, you are this. But I ain't even gonna say it. But leaving New York, going to college, like I said, my mom raised me up for survival. I learned how to be an entrepreneur and make money without needing a man or wanting a man. So I got my real estate license immediately, and he was drafted to the Chiefs.
Right.
And I literally was blessed to show him a home. I did not sell him the home, and we were just friends. There was no love interest, but we remained friends.
Right.
Okay.
So I love talking about the power of connection, because you just never know what type of relationship that you are in front of and where it's going to go. So it's just like I encourage people to always treat people kind and friendly. But him and I, we started doing business together. He had a charity, I had a charity. He became my keynote speaker at different events that I did. And then as time went on, I hooked one of my friends up with him, and we started being around each other more. And one thing, here we are all of these years later. But, just being by his side, I was never this girl that was a talker.
Right.
I helped him with a lot of things in his business world, and I was always in the background. So many women that are the backbones for their men, and they don't get credit. They don't, and we don't do it because we want it, but a lot of times we love the background. So it's just like now seeing me today, even him watching me be this person that's going around the country, talking to people, becoming this advocate. He's like, wow, that's why even with repetition, having to do something over and over again, you only get better.
So you supported him, and now he flipped the script.
Yes, that's why he's amazing, because my husband, he was born in Miami Gardens, and he's from the streets. Got blessed with his athleticism, and he got the everything just went from there. But to see how domestic he has become, and how now he supports me, like he'll cook the kids breakfast, like he'll it's just, he's amazing. And I thank God, because a lot of wealthy men, they're not like that.
I can understand that.
Going back to your childhood, you were one of how many kids?
One of 8. I'm the youngest of 8 children. And I saw a lot. I mean, when I tell you my siblings, I watched it all. And that's why I say it was God. Because a lot of times you become who you're around.
Right.
One of my sisters turned to crack cocaine, and she got 2 of my other sisters on crack cocaine. So I had 3 crackheads in my house. So we was literally going to sleep with our shoes and our purses, and my mom with her rent money. It was a bad time, but it never made me want to do it.
Right. You one of those people that can learn from another person's mistake.
Yeah, never wanted to do it. So that's why it's important to be a leader and not a follower.
Yeah.
It's like so many people have to do, they say birds of a feather flock together, and if you hang around this amount of people, it's not true. Like, and I'm pretty much a testament to it.
And are you still in contact with them?
Of course. Like, my siblings, I love them. Thank God all of them have been saved from crack cocaine. My sister, she's a nurse. My other sister, they all are doing well. And it's such a blessing to see how things can change. So
I'm curious though about you said your husband didn't know that you were abused for 10 years.
So him and I, we went to a own network show. It's called Love Goals. Amazing. It was a relationship therapy show.
Love Goals on
on TV.
Yeah, okay.
And at this time, just being married to an NFL player is challenging, and he came with a entourage.
Okay.
And I just got over it. I was like, too many friends around, too many this, and I was at the wits of leaving my husband.
Right.
And we got this call. We went there, and it blessed our marriage, and it helped him, because who he is in 2019 to today is 2 different men.
Yeah.
So anyone that sees this, your man can change. Men can change. I'm saying it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly.
And a lot of people get into relationships and they want immediate gratification, and you don't understand the journey is so long.
They don't want to go through the hard work.
You
That's
have
what I tell people about relationships. When it's happy, when it's all good, that's the easy part.
That's the easy part.
But when things are going on the rocky road, that's how you test to see who's really there for you, who really loves you, to get through that, to get to the
But relationships and business run parallel.
Yeah.
Okay? This is why both of them fail when you think about it. When your business is not doing good, what people do, they abort mission.
Right.
So now they run into another business. When your relationship fails, it's the same thing. You go from woman to woman, man to man.
Right.
It's about sticking it out. Every problem has a solution. And what that therapist told me on the show, she said, you are not the problem, and you are not the problem. The problem is the problem.
The problem is the problem.
So much we attack each other, and we don't focus on the problem. And this is why we leave each other.
Right.
That's real talk.
That's real
You
talk.
might as well add counselor to all your.
No, I have to give credit to Dr. Spirit. She was our counselor on the show.
That's a great way of looking at it. That's a great way of looking at it.
You are not the problem, and you are not the problem. The problem is the problem.
Right.
And once you look at it like that, you realize there's always a solution.
Always.
The first thing you're not going to do is leave each other. You're going to be like, listen, what's wrong? Like, what's the problem? And let's fix it. Same thing with business.
So I got a question. I noticed that you got a cross on.
Yes.
And I noticed that you said God got you through all of that. You used to go to church a lot as a kid?
As a kid, yes. I don't go as much as an adult, but I'm a believer. I have faith. And because of faith, is what gets me through.
Right.
Like when something bad happens, I always know now. I be like, listen, I know God, you're trying to show me something. It's not that this is supposed to kill me.
Right.
You're showing me
Supposed to
something.
teach you.
You're making me stronger. You're building me and preparing me for what's to come.
Right.
So a lot of people harp on the problem. I harp on the solution.
Right.
So let's talk about this book you have. What's
Okay.
the name of the book again?
The book is My Mommy's Boyfriend.
My Mommy's Boyfriend. Were you always into writing? What
No.
inspired you to become this great author?
What inspired me to write was just knowing how important education was for children. When I left the show, a lot of people use their platforms for different reasons. Some people use it to be popular and, try to get all these gigs.
Right.
And when I left the show, a lot of people was like, oh, write a tell-all book about your life and, you have an amazing story. And I felt like me writing a book to help children
Right.
avoid going through what I went through.
Yeah, it's big.
I got out.
Right. You do have a great.
That's a big
amazing
purpose.
story. People can
I
learn
got
from.
out, y'all. Like, I got out. Do you understand? I meet people that's been abused, that their life is in shambles.
Yeah, you went
because
to college. You
got out.
You got a husband. You got a great life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got out. And
God
it's just
bless
like, I know that my story and my voice and just the platform that I was afforded was to help other people. It wasn't really for me to gain riches or fame.
Right.
So do you ever think back, like in your journey, like all that you've been through, and like say, "Wow, look where I'm at now."
I thank God all the time. I thank God all the time. I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
And so many people are blessed, but sometimes they just don't even see the blessing in front of them.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of times, they let their blessing run off elsewhere. It's like I realized a lot of things and I'm appreciative. I appreciate the small things, the big things, and I raised my kids the same way. They were born into luxury, but they can go to my siblings or whoever house that may live in a 2-bedroom and they're happy and they're thriving. They're not like, oh, I
Right.
want to go home. This
Yeah, they
isn't.
help you.
They're amazing. So it's just all
Kept-
about being grounded and
Grounded.
grateful and just know that at any time God can change your situation.
Right.
Right.
So how you treat people is extremely important.
It's important.
So bringing it to today, right now, what business ventures are you doing now? Like, what projects are you working on? Are you about to be in some movies or more shows or other businesses? Let us know what we can look forward to.
Listen, God is good. I have so many things going on. And it's just like the great thing is not overwhelming.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So many people are overwhelmed because they're trying to do too many things. And I just feel like when God gives you a mission, everything's going to fall into place.
Right.
So with me starting Don't Touch Me, that prompted me to do the book.
Okay.
With me seeing how people are still very, edgy when it comes to learning about child abuse, I started a movement called Heels and Motivation.
Okay.
And the reason Heels and Motivation.
Heels and
I love
motivation.
high heel shoes. There's a meaning behind
There we go.
it.
Heels and
Shoes,
motivation.
yes. Shoes do a lot of things for women. They lift you up. They make you
Yeah.
feel powerful.
For men too.
That's
It does a lot.
I like that.
Man, too.
But with Heels and Motivation, I had to create a platform to put myself in front of adults.
Right.
Okay.
Because Don't Touch Me is going to educate the kids. Heels and Motivation is going to give me the opportunity to educate the adults.
Yeah.
True.
We need to be educated still, So Heels and Motivation is something that I created January of 2021. And I'm in city number 5. December the 3rd, I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri alongside Vivica Fox and
Okay,
Drea
wow.
Kelly and some amazing business builders in the city. And it's just been a blessing because that platform right there, when I tell you, I love business, always been an entrepreneur. I'm able to help people scale their businesses and thrive in their businesses, but I'm also able to introduce them to child abuse.
Right.
So it's just been like a double whammy and it's just been a blessing. So Heels and Motivation is pretty much what I have currently going on. Outside of that, it's just other things. We're working on another reality TV show that will start shooting 2022. Can't tell you the name till I'm asked.
Okay. We're
And,
still looking forward to it.
yes, amongst a lot of other things.
Yeah.
All right. And if you could go back and give your younger self advice on life, on love, and business, what advice would you give that 15-year-old Theresa?
I would tell that 15-year-old Theresa to have faith and whatever is in your path, God has put it there just to keep going. Like, don't let nothing stop you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I do feel like that's exactly what I did. So I truly would not change a thing about my journey. But if anyone's listening, please just keep going. Do not let nothing stop you.
Like, keep the faith.
And what would you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done? When you're old, when they speak Theresa Bowe, what would you want your legacy to be at the end of the road?
Wow. So this is exciting. Now that question right there. So when I think about the statistics alone with child abuse, right? They say like 87% of kids are molested before their 18th birthday. I would love to see
87.
those statistics decline drastically and it be 10%.
Wow.
So it's just like the journey, just this stride that I'm doing is I want to make a difference.
Right.
That's a big number, 87.
It's a lot. So you got to think, almost 99% of people I can say know someone that's been abused sexually or physically as a child, right?
Right.
If you haven't been abused, you know someone that have. Like, I'm safe to say everybody knows someone.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you think about everyone potentially knows somebody,
That's
the numbers
big.
are huge.
That's huge.
And that's the problem with this. We don't want to talk about it. We don't feel like we can talk about it. It's not a cool topic or whatever. I'm not for the cool. I'm for the right. So it's like, this is why God put this on my lap, because a lot of people, they want to do what people are going to celebrate.
Right.
I'm not looking to be celebrated. I'm just really looking to make a change.
Make a change.
We're
We like
glad
that.
God put you here to make this change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you were talking about the schools that you wanted to, you was trying to get the program
Yes,
into
the
schools.
curriculum.
Let's just talk about that
Yeah.
program real quick.
Okay, the curriculum is the Don't Touch Me program. Getting into schools, especially public schools, is extremely difficult. You know, when they hear that word child sex abuse, sex just runs everything
Yeah,
in a
the
different
word
direction.
sex,
So I just restructured the whole movement, and it's about child abuse. So I'm going to talk about physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, all of the things that come under that umbrella. Since I've done that already, I've seen, you know, strides. So now it's just getting, I'm going to start with charter schools. Charter schools are a lot more friendly. They're a lot more eager to get help. So that's the route. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the charter schools. And I think once the world starts to see the change that it makes, you gotta create change. You know, you gotta gather your data and be able to present. So that's what I'm doing now.
So we think it's an amazing job you're doing, man.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful for
It is.
you. Glad to have someone as yourself to represent this this topic of child abuse
Right.
and to be a speaker and an advocate for it.
Thank
We
you.
definitely want to check out your books. We want everybody to check out her book, My Mommy's Boyfriend.
Yes.
And also to check out the website, Stop Don't Touch Me. And
Yes.
final question.
Yeah.
What does Be the Model mean to you?
Oh, be the model, especially after being a mom. Listen, everyone's not afforded the position for someone to look up to.
Right.
And, you know, even when I watched my husband go through his NFL career and he still wanted to live a life that he didn't really care what people thought or whatever, that's a platform, that's something special that you're afforded.
Right.
So it's like, for me to be a model, it's just like knowing every step that I take, someone's watching it, especially my two little children. And it's just like, I have an opportunity to help mold these children into like amazing beings. So it's just like, being a model is just making sure every step that you take is calculated and that you're making the right choices and decisions because you know someone's watching.
Right.
Wow, amazing. That's probably one of the best answers we've had on the show. We really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
For all those who are watching, who's going through what we've talked about, abuse, reach out and tell someone.
Tell
As
somebody.
Theresa said, even if they don't believe you, tell someone else.
Yeah.
You know, because don't keep it in. Let it be seen, because this shouldn't be happening. There's plenty of programs out there. Continue to follow Theresa and let's support what she's doing with these programs and try to get it into schools, try to bring awareness to this topic. You know, follow her on Instagram, we can get your social media.
Yes, my Instagram is The Real Theresa Bowe, spelled out, all the words. But also, virtually, you can come to the show December the 3rd. You can go to Eventbrite, grab your tickets. You'll get to see me live alongside Vivica Fox and everyone else. But you'll learn about child abuse. You'll see how I set out the platform to educate women. And you'll also be inspired business-wise, okay? Like, I am a woman that is about growth, about helping other people grow. It's not just about you in this world. When you do want to do great things, you always got to bring somebody along with you. So Heels and Motivation, guys, follow that movement as well.
Here's the motivation.
Here's the motivation.
Don't forget to follow the Be the Model podcast. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out. We got interviews every week. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to drop a comment. And as we always say, be great, be unique, and definitely
Be the model.
And say, don't touch me.
Yeah. Stop.